Hey, what's up everyone? I am Torvolduruz, and today I've got one of my favorite ships in EVE, the Phantasm. This one I'll be running T3 Firestorms, but this thing's also capable of running T3 Electricals and possibly even T4 Electricals depending on your skill points and how good you are. I've always loved the Phantasm because you got that awesome Afterburner speed bonus, you're using lasers with shields, and I think it just looks badass. And here is the fit. Nothing crazy or unrealistic here. I did all of this without any implants in, and those Abyssal heat sinks are just some cheap rolls I did with some decayed mutaplasmid, so nothing crazy there. I have this fit in the description below, so if you want to go down there and copy that and import it in game that way, there you have it. This thing was originally intended for electricals, but I decided to try Firestorms out to see how good it would be, and it actually held up really well. So all the footage from this video you'll see is from me running Firestorms. If you want an easier experience, you can drop into T3 Electricals and do those, or if you want to step it up a notch, this thing can do T4 Electricals. Just, you know, make sure you're actually piloting and paying attention, because this is one of those fits where what you do matters. You can't just kind of, you know, no brain AFK it like you can in Aguila. It's really important while you're flying this thing that you're actually maneuvering and paying attention and choosing the right targets. Otherwise, you'll have a really bad time. The first room here in this video is the Kikimoras. These can actually be pretty rough, especially if you have ghosting Kikimoras that are messing with your tracking. These guys remote repair each other, obviously, because they're Triglavians, so you'll kind of struggle with this room if you're not doing it correctly. One tactic I started using with Kikimoras while flying the Phantasm was diving in, killing one of the Kikimoras, then flying out. It's kind of better to use faction ammo for this to give yourself better tracking depending on the situation. But yeah, you can basically just come in, kill one of them with conflag or multi-frequency, and then fly out. That way you can reset all their damage. You can also stay far away from them and use Scorch to kind of pick them off from a distance. It's kind of tough to do because you need the damage to be able to break through their reps. This is one of those setups where if you don't use heat, you're most likely going to come into a situation where you're going to die. So get used to using heat, managing that heat, making sure you're not overheating or burning anything out. But do not be afraid of the heat. Also, as always, be aware of the environment. You can use stuff like speed clouds or tracking towers to your advantage. So pay attention to where those are and where you need to be to take advantage of those. All right, next up, of course, is the Vedmak encounter. Any Triglavian spawn is usually an issue in Firestorms because they have increased armor and their damage is a little bit higher because of that thermal resistance. What I like to do when I come into Vedmaks is pick off one or two of the dangerous Damavix. So in this case, Starving or any kind of webbing Damavix. Take those out. Normally the Damavix will be on top of you and in range way before the Vedmaks are because they're much faster, so you get the opportunity to take them out real quick. Also, taking out one or two Damavix will be less reps on the Vedmaks once you start applying damage to those guys. If you come up against a Starving Vedmak, that's going to be your #1 priority. You could probably kill one Damavix, either a webbing or a Starving, but you're going to want to get on that Vedmak as quickly as possible with conflag. If you're running electricals, it's not as important, but in Firestorms, it's very important that you go for that Starving Vedmak first and get them down. Also, side note, I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but yes, I am using Caldor Navy Hornets with this fit. I know I'm on Firestorms and I should probably be using Galente drones, but I'm really bad with drones and managing them. And Hornets regenerate their shields, whereas Hobgoblins, once they go into armor, that armor doesn't regenerate. And with me being as bad as I am at drone management, I decided to just stick with drones that kind of have a better chance of living with me. So however you want to go about that, that's on you. And of course, it would not be an Abyssal guide without Charybdis Tyrannos, which actually is pretty easy with the Phantasm. General rule of thumb with this: do not fly directly to or away from her. That's pretty standard no matter what you're flying. When it comes to Charybdis Tyrannos, do not fly directly at her or away from her because she will hit hard. What you're going to want to do as soon as you come into this encounter is get moving, don't stay still, and don't fly directly to or away from her. And you're going to prioritize any webbing or nuding cruisers. Your goal is to get a nice little 7,500 meter orbit on Charybdis Tyrannos while simultaneously taking out these cruisers that could harm you. Once you get close to Charybdis Tyrannos and you're orbiting her, you'll have no problem. You won't take any damage from her, and you'll be pounding her with conflag. There's probably a few different ways I could have said that, but I'm just going to stick by my original statement. That's how you handle Charybdis Tyrannos. This next encounter with the drone battle cruisers was a lot more difficult than it should have been. I think I botched this one up. All these little snare casters became a huge pain in the ass. Struggled pretty hard with tracking and applying damage to these guys, and of course, while all this is going on, we got these battle cruisers who like to one-shot my drones, so this got pretty sticky pretty fast. After experiencing this, I would suggest when you come into a situation like this with all these snare casters, load Scorch, fly directly away, and just try and pluck them off get as many of them out of there as you can before they get on you and web you, because this was such a pain in the ass. As I said earlier, the Phantasm requires piloting, maneuvering, and just general awareness of the situation. What will most likely kill you in this thing is complacency. I made my initial mistake in this room by just default orbiting the gate at 30 before I realized what the situation was, where I should have just flown directly away. Anything to help me apply to these snare casters and get a few of these off the grid before they actually got me webbed would have helped here. So yeah, if you do end up flying this thing, don't get complacent. If you have any questions about this setup or really the Abyss in general, go ahead and drop it in the comment section below and I'll answer it to the best of my ability. Also, do not forget there is the in-game channel Abyssal Lurkers as well as the Abyssal Lurkers Discord, which I'll have the link in the description below. Both the in-game channel and Discord are open to everybody. It's an open community to talk about the Abyss, ask questions, share information, fits, all that good stuff. So feel free to jump in either of those. And that is it for the T3 Firestorm / T3-4 electrical Phantasm. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Also, a little side note, fun fact about this fit. This is the exact same fit that I used to kill a really extremely Gila back during the original Abyssal PvP Proving Grounds. Should be a little video popping up at the top right corner of the screen. I have it recorded. It happened during one of my live streams. But yeah, I came up against a buffer Gila that had Nirvanas in, and Nirvanas were brand new during this time. The implants that increase your shield capacity. So it was a really expensive pod. But yeah, fun fact about this fit. Check that out. Thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoy it, and I'll see you next time.